Have you noticed that as an empath, you scare narcissists? As a highly sensitive person, a highly sensitive being, as a chosen one, but specifically, an empath, you scare narcissists. You really do. And the reason why I say you scare narcissists is because you get to feel the pain of a narcissist. Like, you get to really feel that pain that they have. If you get to utilize your empathetic powers, you get to feel how that narcissist feels, and you get to resonate where they come from. Doesn't necessarily mean that you live through what they come from, but you get a understanding of why they are where they are, and through that you can give them sympathy, right? Which I'm pretty sure a lot of us have. When we've dealt with narcissists, we've been empathetic to them, we've been sympathetic to them, But the reason why you scare them is because this is a big one. You scare them because you reflect that mirror upon them. Yeah, you reflect that mirror upon them. How you can give a narcissist grace and patience, that's something that they could not give themselves, is that same grace and patience. They can't give themselves that. They can't. So they're almost astonished and amazed, and sometimes resentful, that you're able to love them, that you're able to, be patient with them. And a lot of times they don't even love themselves or patient with themselves. Crazy, huh? How you can love somebody who doesn't love themselves. How you can care about somebody who doesn't care about themselves. And like I said, a lot of times we overlook this fact because we think of narcissists, we think of them being this grandiose figure, bigger than life figure, full of love and full of confidence. That's how we see them, but that's not the real them. You see the real them. They know you see the real them because a lot of times as empaths and narcissists, we read between the lines. We fill in the gaps. And this is just second nature to us. So they pick up on when we fill in the gaps. They pick up on when we read between the lines. They may not say anything about it, but they recognize it. And that kind of puts a little fear in them. And sometimes this is why narcissists go harder on empaths, chosen ones, highly sensitive people. A lot of times this is why narcissists go harder or inflict more pain upon us. It's because of that resentment. They resent you for being able to see their cracks, but yet they want you to help them. Yet they want you to love them, nurture them, take care of them, give them that good energy. They want that from you, all without seeing their flaws, but you can't see their flaws. You're trained, you're wired, you're triggered to see them. And this is why narcissists are resentful. Because you see the things that they want you to see but don't want you to see. And they're resentful because you can love them more and better than they can love themselves. That's a crazy thing. That you can love somebody more than they can love themselves because they refuse to love themselves due to how they compare themselves and due to them not having that confidence instilled in them being younger or, being neglected. Or even not even being validated, not being validated as a kid can also spark that. This is why empaths, specifically, but empaths, chosen ones, highly sensitive people, this is why you are a narcissist's worst nightmare. 100%. This is why you are their worst nightmare, because you can see through the things, you can see through their flaws, you can see through their cracks. And it hurts. It hurts them. Especially the ones who are more negative or more let's just use negative, or more self-centered. The ones who are more self-centered, those tend to be the ones who are more grandiose. If they're overt narcissists, these are the ones who get hit the most. The overt narcissist and the grandiose narcissist. These are the ones who get hurt the most. These are the ones who dislike you the most, because you challenge everything that they've built. You got to understand, the ones who are overt, the ones who are grandiose, these are the ones who have built their whole image, who have built everything that they know off of their narcissism, their pain. They built this whole character off of that. So for you to come in, see through the cracks, expose them for who they are, without you even saying it, you're doing it indirectly by how you're treating them. You're doing it indirectly by how you're healing them. They dislike you. Like I said, that's why they go harder. Especially when they're toxic, that's why they attack you the worst. That's why they treat you the worst. Because the way that they're treating you is only a projection of how they feel about themselves. Again, how they treat you is only a projection of how they feel about themselves. So the worse that a narcissist treats you, the worse that these individuals treat you, means that's how bad they beat up on themselves. I'm serious. So the worse that a narcissist can drag you through the mud, that's how they drag themselves through the mud every day. And that's the projection that they want to give themselves, but they're not going to give it to themselves because of this delusion that they're living in. So guess what? They're going to dump it on you until they're able to sit down, look in the mirror, and do the shadow work and really see that that projection that they're putting on you is how they feel about themselves, and they need to, they need to work on themselves. In simplest terms, to not feel that resentment. Now, if we talk about a covert narcissist, a lot of times these are people who may change. And if they don't change, these are the ones who don't resent you as much. They may never talk to you again, if the situation doesn't pan out. They may never talk to you again, or they may hide in the shadows. But trust me, the ones who are covert narcissists, they're not that malicious. Depending on the situation, sometimes they may be, in order to protect themselves, they may be a little bit malicious. Or avoidant, I should say. More so avoidant than malicious. It's just the wires and the triggers in their brain just go, beep red, red flashes. So that takes over, and then their survival takes over more so than trying to, accommodate you or be more pleasant towards you, I should say. So when we're talking about covert narcissists, they inflict less pain, and they're able to see a little bit more of the mirror and withstand it. With them is coming into agreement with it and changing. This is what I've noticed when it comes to covert narcissists, because they're less malicious. With them, it's more so like little family triggers or being invalidated. It's more so what I've noticed about covert narcissists. It's more so the parent-child dynamic when it leads to being validated and being dismissed. I think that's what creates a lot of covert narcissists nowadays. But these are the ones I'm talking about, not the ones who are so malicious and grandiose. Those are not the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones who are more so covert, the ones who are more so avoidant. They may stop talking to you. You know, you may never hear from them again, but believe you will be on these people's minds because every day they may want to take a step to change. These are the ones where their narcissism hurts them more than it helps them. These are the ones who feel pain when they go through their narcissism tendencies, because it holds them back from the life that they truly want to live, the life that they truly see. You know, they're not using it more so to cover up, you know, who they are. They're not doing it for that. It's more so for protection. It's more so for, you know, survival. That's what I've noticed from covert narcissists. So they don't resent you as much, but you are more so a catalyst for a covert narcissist to change, I should say that. Or a covert narcissist to do better in life. Or they look at you as like their North Star. I'll put it like that when it comes to covert narcissists and empaths. But the overt, you're their worst enemy. So empaths, you are a narcissist's worst nightmare. You completely intimidate narcissists. Let me know how y'all feel about this. This is Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.